Alrighty, this is Dirt Sociable, episode 2, and we have quite the treat. We have Mickey Thomas on for us to join and get some questions answered and see what's going on for 2025.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So we'd like to start out, we kind of broke this down, so how a race happens, and our first section is engine warm-up, and that's a time that we like to take for you to give a brief overview of your racing career and how you got into racing.
So I got started in side-by-sides. I think it was probably about 2014. We got a Polaris RZR for Christmas, me and my little brother, and we started racing locally. There's a track called Durhamtown here in Georgia, and cool little track. They have a GP course, a little short course section, and a woods race, and saw some flyers for that at our dealership. Started doing a few of those, doing really well. I kind of latched onto it a little more than my brother. He did the first couple with me, and then just did that for 2 years. Had really good success in that local series. Started winning a lot of races, and from there we got invited to this series called Terracross. And what Terracross was it was like a Polaris. You showed up, you rented a stock Polaris RZR, and you got to race with some of the biggest names in the sport. So I was racing against, Jeremy McGrath and RJ Anderson and all these guys that were big specifically in the side-by-side industry.
Yeah.
And I actually went out there, won my first race, and kind of linked up with RJ, who introduced me to short course racing. I rented a Pro Light truck from there, and that's kind of when my short course career started and took off. And I've been in Pro Light, won a bunch of Pro Light races, moved up to Pro 2, obviously won a bunch of Pro 2 races and had a championship, and have had a really, really successful career, just always improving. That's what I always try to focus on, is just getting better every season.
Yeah, that's definitely something we've noticed while we were looking at the stats of your racing career, is that you're always improving and going on to one step to the next.
For sure. Yep.
So then our next section is what we're going to call the sight lap. And it's actually six questions that we're going to try to answer or get answered from each person we interview throughout the season, so we can try to cross compare and see what everybody says. So
yeah.
Right on.
The first one is favorite track of all time, and which one in the upcoming 2025 short course series are you most excited to go into?
Yeah, so I just got back from a trip to Wheatland out at Lucas Oil Speedway. We went out there and tested for 2 days. Just got everything unloaded, and I got to say that's got to be my favorite track. It kind of refreshed my mind how sweet that place is, and they do such a good job taking care of it and prepping it. And man, that's just such a fun track. A little bit of everything, big jumps, awesome spectator track. You got the big bleachers, whoop section, tight technical chicane, like pretty much covers all your bases. And it's just a sweet facility, and I don't know, really, really special track for sure. So I'm happy we're headed back there this season. I think everybody that hasn't raced there is going to love it. It's definitely worth the trip. So I'm looking forward to some good racing out there.
Yeah, I know for me personally, I'm excited to get to the track. Haven't been there for a race yet, so off-road race. So excited to see it and excited to get out there.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I've got a lot of other favorites. I mean, it's hard to pick, Crandon, Bark River. Crandon's been really good for me the past few years of my career. Have won a lot of races there, and that's a special one. Bark River's a really fun, flowy track. It's hard to pick, but Lucas Oil Speedways, it's pretty sweet for sure.
Awesome. Well, which is the toughest, do you think, to drive out of the tracks?
I would probably say ERX. Just the way the dirt is, it's kind of got like a sandier base. You get a lot of ruts. The split lane is always real technical. It's definitely one of the more technical tracks. It's kind of hard to pick apart a fast line through there. You got to be adaptive in that track. Like the line's constantly changing inside, outside in the split lanes, different things you can do through the whoop section. It's another track I love. I mean, it's challenging. It's definitely one I usually have trouble with mechanically. Something happens or flat tires here and there. I've had bad luck the past couple of years. Most of that's my fault, but yeah, it's a tough track.
So speaking of those split lanes, like throughout the race, how do you determine like which path you're going to go? And is it, if you're behind someone, is it following them, or when do you decide to switch up those lanes?
I mean, a lot of it is just communicating with my spotter. He can see what the guys behind me are doing. If they're gaining on me, the guys in front of me, he's got eyes all over the track, but you try to just kind of, usually it's inside to outside has been the fast lane. But as it gets worn in, the ruts start to form. You have to switch it up. So it's really, you just got to be on your feet. And yeah, if you got a guy in front of you, it's, usually the right move to go the opposite lane, just in case he makes a mistake. I try not to follow through there. But there's times when one of the lanes will get slow enough to where you really have to, you have to follow the leader and just try to make something happen somewhere else. But you definitely got to stay on your toes there.
Makes sense. When you get the chance at the track, like what's one class you try to travel, whether you're going up to the grandstands or wherever you can get a chance to watch it? Like what's one class you try to always watch?
Pro 4, definitely. It's kind of a bummer, like the way our team works. I'm pretty involved on my truck, and so usually I'm working on my truck all the way up until the Pro 2 race, just trying to get everything dialed and ready. And so that Pro 4 race is really the only race I get the chance to actually, once I'm done racing, I go run over to the stands and watch. And it's been a awesome, class to race the past couple of years. So yeah, I gotta say it's Pro 4 for me.
Awesome. So speaking of like legends and stuff in the sport, which one do you think that has a high impact but doesn't always get mentioned or recognized, as far as like somebody from like a past legend or the past?
That's a good question. Honestly, like for me, RJ Anderson has had a big impact. He got me into this sport. I think kind of during that era that the Razor was gaining popularity. He was a big figurehead. I remember watching him on YouTube, like before I started racing, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Like that's all I wanted to do. And I think he had a big impact on just off-road in general and short course. I mean, that's really why I'm here. So yeah, for me, I think it'd be him.
Awesome.
So if you're looking like in the future, so say like 10 years from now, and you could look back, what does success look like for you in short course?
I really want to get a Pro 4 championship. That's my next big goal on the list. It's not going to be easy. It'll probably take a couple years, but we're gonna go for that. And that's kind of the pinnacle of this sport. And that's what I want to go out and try to achieve.
Certainly. So last question for the sight lap. Who is the highest skilled competitor that you've raced against, in your opinion?
Honestly, it would be Brock Hager. I think he's a driver that like really impressed me at times. I can't say that for a lot of people, but that dude can wheel it for sure. I had some good fun racing with him in Pro Light. That's the last time I really raced against him, but he can wheel a car for sure.
Yeah, he's having a heck of a year as well right now.
Yeah, I don't follow too much of the desert stuff, but I have seen he's been winning just about everything. So yeah, that guy can drive anything for sure.
Awesome. So now we move on to the green flag section, which is like the core questions that will get hammered out here. So
all right.
Back in your rookie day, what was the reach for the stars kind of goal? Like when you were first getting in the UTVs, your aspirations?
When I started racing UTVs, I didn't really have big aspirations, but as I kind of learned like what short course was, started getting involved a little more in that world. I just started small, really. I personally never would have dreamed, if you asked me 10 years ago that I'd be jumping into a Pro 4 right now. I mean, that was like so far out there. I just could never see myself doing it. So I really just, at the time, I wanted to go out and win Pro Light races. Obviously, that led into my goal being a Pro Light championship. And I've just taken it one step at a time my whole career, and just try to keep my goals achievable, but keep hitting my goals. And that's what keeps me moving forward and keeps our team progressing.
So you kind of led into it a little bit, but what are your 2025 season plans then, as far as what
Yeah,
you're
so we wrapped up last year with the Pro 2 championship, had just a killer year, and I've been looking at getting into Pro 4 for a few years, and it just felt like the right time to make the jump. So we ended up finding a truck, and we're going Pro 4 racing, and I'm pretty excited about it. Obviously, it's a whole different animal, but I'm ready to tackle it and hopefully be challenging for some race wins here in the early parts of the season.
Makes sense. Speaking of that truck, what's the history behind the truck?
Yes, we ended up buying Jimmy Henderson's old truck. It was a truck that he raced 2 years ago before he built his new truck. And before that, I guess it was owned by the Greaves, and before that it was owned by Doug Fortin. So it's got some history. It's been around since 2014, so it's an older chassis. But we did a lot of work to it. It needed a lot of work, to be honest. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. Mikey Vanden Heuvel, Charlie Schlevy, Braden, all these guys that helped me. We spent the past 6 months just dialing this truck in, fixing all the stuff that needed to be fixed. And we got a pretty good piece of equipment here, so I'm excited about it.
When you pull up on the starting line, what number are you putting on that Pro 4?
It's going to be 88. Yep. So we're switching it all up. I'm changing my colors. I was blue last year, so we're going to be red, number 88. Just went ahead and doubled it. So yeah, I've been 44 for so long. It feels weird being 88, but yeah, it is what it is, and I think it'll do the trick. So yeah.
Kind of like it going from Pro 2 to Pro 4, just doubling it, like doubling the wheels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you kind of alluded to it a little bit already, but we've seen some Pro 4 testing videos on Instagram. So
yeah.
Is there any more in depth into the transition of that, how it's going as far as going from the Pro 2 to the Pro 4?
Yeah, it's been going pretty good so far. I did some basic shakedown stuff here at my property in Georgia. Spent a couple days doing that, just figuring out little things. We had to take the truck and mount a new engine in it. Running a Ford-based engine where it had a Toyota-based engine. So with that kind of came a lot of changes. So we had to test those things out. And then once we kind of did a nice little shakedown, we took it out to Wheatland in the past week and had a really good test. I spent 2 days there. We broke a few things, but it was all stuff that we could fix while we were at the track and keep testing. With any new truck that you build, there's always some bugs you got to work out. And so we're kind of working those bugs out. But yeah, Pro 4 is just absolutely wild. Like it's just insane. My adrenaline, like in Pro 2, I got to the point where I was pretty comfortable. So I'd go out there and, I'm probably racing with a 70 beats per minute heart rate, just more on the relaxed side. Once I got comfortable in it, and Pro 4, it's so much adrenaline. Like my heart's racing. It's insane just how fast. And these are, top tier race cars. And it's something that I wish everybody could experience because they're just absolutely wild.
That leads well into the next question. Also seeing the clips of the collaboration with Cam Reimers, Alton Jones, and Mark Gomez for the Mystic Lubricant. So Mark Gomez, wheeling that water-propelled rocket. Did you get a chance to try that thing out on your pond?
No, he didn't bring that. What is it?
The jet ski. The
jet ski
that he's doing the backflips.
He told me he does lessons, and he's like, you need to come out to Havasu where he lives, and he'll give me some lessons on it. But no, the pond that he was doing flips in is our cow pond, so I didn't really want to get in it. It was pretty gross, but yeah, he was brave enough to go in there and do some crazy tricks. He's awesome. He's super talented. It was really fun to watch.
So I take it Alton didn't catch any fish then?
No, he did actually. We have it stocked with bass, and he caught a pretty good bass out there.
Oh wow.
I don't know how big it was, but it was a good, pretty good sized fish. So yeah, he caught a fish, and then they had Mark flipping over his boat, and it was pretty wild. It was really cool to see.
Awesome. That's one more fish than I've ever caught.
Yeah.
So I hear that the Silent Assassin nickname originated from a media guy. So I think I would like to cast a rebranding on that based on the 2024 season. We should put it as Mick Hammer, like MC Hammer.
I like it.
There you go.
Yeah, I like it. Yep, that's cool.
That's my dad joke of the day. All right.
I like it.
So this is kind of a long one talking about stats. So looking back at the last 4 years of the Pro 2 career, stats you continue to improve, including earning the 2024 championship by a significantly large gap compared to many years in the past. In fact, if you do some quick math, on 2022, you were third in points, behind the leader by 16 points, and 2023, second in points, behind the leader by 17 points, but 24, you dominated by winning with 29 points. So that pretty much makes like just a 4-point gap of almost earning those back. I just thought that was a super impressive stat on how much there was a lead for points wise.
Yep.
So approaching the 2025 season with a new truck and the new class with new tracks, what drives you to keep on progressing? Like instead of taking more time in the Pro 2 class, what made you kind of choose that this is a good time to jump in the Pro 4?
I'm only getting older. I mean, I'm 30 years old, and I don't want to be racing well into my 40s. So I want to get this job done. I mean, a Pro 4 championship is the pinnacle of this sport. It's a goal I've had for the past couple of years as I was kind of getting to the senior years of my Pro 2 career. And so I just thought, what better time than now to go out there and let's start learning this class. With anything, when you jump into a new class, there's a learning curve. So it's probably going to take me some time to get caught up, get the truck figured out, get everybody on the team kind of familiar with how things work on the Pro 4. And I'm just trying to speed that process up as much as possible, get out there and start racing and let's go out and try to win a championship.
Yeah. So I guess jumping off the race course a little bit, just in more of like family history, I see Mickey kind of feels like it's a family name. I share the same middle name with my dad and my grandpa. Do you mind sharing, like, is there any significance in the name or anything?
Yeah, my dad's name is Mickey. So I'm the second, and I actually just named my son, who was born about a year ago, 14 months ago. He's Mickey the third. So it came, my grandma, I think she loved Mickey Mantle, the baseball player. And so I think that's kind of where the name originated from. But yeah, I think it's just cool. It's a cool family name. I wanted to pass it down. And hopefully my kid likes it just as much as I do. It's not mad at me for it, but yeah, a little family name that's been handed down again.
That's awesome. And is like from the short course racing perspective, I know a lot of it's in the Midwest focus. I know that we have some tracks that are now expanding out a little bit. Do you have any thoughts of moving closer into the Midwest to the tracks or?
Every year I have a shop up in Hiles, which is just north of Crandon. So every year, all my stuff stays there during the Midwest, season. So we're going to leave from Georgia to Wheatland, and then go straight from Wheatland up to Hiles. And then we'll run out of my shop up there in Wisconsin for pretty much the remainder of the season until we go to Glen Helen. But yeah, just with how the series is, how the schedule kind of pans out, we're really tight on some of these races. It makes it almost pretty much impossible to drive back to Georgia with the little amount of time that we have. Plus, a lot of my crew guys are from Wisconsin, so it just makes it easy having a shop up there. I got a super good deal. I actually bought the shop from Jarrett Brooks when he got out of racing, and it's just a really nice shop. It's got a house on it, 6,000 square foot shop. Gets the job done perfectly, and it's nice little headquarters, while we're up there running around.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So we covered a bit, or actually quite a bit, on how you transferred from UTV racing into short course truck racing. And when I was looking at the stats, 2015, 2016 was a pretty successful year in the work series. I also came from like some woods racing stuff, and I wonder how you thought that lessons learned and skills learned in the woods racing was helpful in the short course skill set?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a big jump for me going from the wood style racing. I started racing woods in Georgia. It was really tight woods. We would do 3-hour endurance races. And then from there, I transitioned into the works racing, which is kind of the same style, but it was just the terrain was different. We were racing more in the desert, but it was really rocky. And honestly, what that taught me the most is taking care of your equipment, because you really had to be easy, especially in those early days in the razors. You had to be easy on them, but you still had to be fast to beat the guys we were racing. So that was a super good lesson on just taking care of your equipment. Also picking lines, because every lap you came through there, so many cars had been through that course. The course was completely different. So just staying, vigilant on picking the right lines, that was huge there. But then stepping into Pro Light from that, honestly, was like pretty much going to ground zero and like relearning everything. Just the way the race car handled short course was a completely different philosophy than what I was used to racing works. So honestly, like any type of racing is good experience in any type of race car. But I had to completely rewire my brain to learn a 2-wheel drive Pro Light truck, versus the 4-wheel drive side by side that's much lighter and just a different style of racing. So it's just been a learning curve the whole time. I think my diversity of the different things I've raced probably helps me adapt to new race cars easier. But yeah, it's kind of what I feel like now going to Pro 4. It's like I've learned this 2-wheel drive chassis for so many years now. I've mastered the 2-wheel drive chassis. Jumping back into something that's 4-wheel drive is like, it's totally foreign to me right now, and I'm already picking it up, but it's just how the truck handles when you get on throttle, how you enter the corner is just completely different from what you do in a Pro 2. So it's definitely going to be a little learning curve.
Yeah, that preservation skill really pays out in the end, because in order to finish first, you must be able to.
Yeah, and I'll be bringing in my works experience, just keeping the truck alive, because we all know how difficult that is in Pro 4. So yeah, hopefully that comes back out and we can get some race finishes for sure.
Yeah, definitely last season too, there was a lot of races where it just seemed if you could keep your truck together, you had a good shot at winning.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's many instances where, if you're alive, you're on the podium pretty much. So
and
that's definitely a goal going into this, is having a really reliable truck.
And kind of talking about like challenging and most rewarding, I guess what year do you feel in short course was your most challenging? And then I guess what was the most rewarding year?
Yeah, I think most challenging would, like I was saying, would be my first year in Pro Light, my first real year in Pro Light. It was just such a different experience to what I've done in side-by-sides. I had so much to learning a 2-wheel drive truck, first time being in a real race car. I mean, it's so different sitting in a Pro Light truck versus a side-by-side. And I had to learn just the racing style of short course, how that whole world worked, getting through tech. I mean, just so much to learn in a short period of time. That for sure was just definitely the most challenging part of my career. And then my most rewarding would be winning a Pro 2 championship. That's when everything came together. That was my first real professional championship. And I started doubting myself. Like, am I capable of winning a championship? Because I'd been close so many years before, Pro Light, Pro 2 the years before. And to finally be able to get that done, it was just like a huge relief. Felt amazing. And that's definitely felt like the best time of my career.
That's awesome.
So then we moved from the green flag section to the comp caution, and that's where we get to talk a little bit more about like crew and some family stuff a little bit, and then we'll move on from the comp caution onto the restart.
All right.
Yeah. So what would you say is your recipe for off-track success, such as like truck prepping, team management?
It just comes down to staying organized, making sure your guys, this is a team sport. We've got a lot of guys that help on the team, and you really can't do it by yourself. So making sure everybody's working towards the same goal. You just got to stay disciplined. I mean, a lot of the same stuff you do on track, you got to do off track, and winning races is really it's just winning multiple days off the track and stacking those good days to get to the racetrack and go out and win races. So you just got to stay disciplined, and stay focused and do anything you can to get that advantage.
Yeah, when I was asking other people for potential questions for you, it's brought up multiple times how impressive they feel it is that you have a such organized team and well-run team. So
yeah, thanks. A lot goes into it, and it's all about surrounding yourself with good people, and I've been lucky to be surrounded by good people all along the way.
And that segues into the next question all too well. So you really do have what would some people consider the A team. A lot of people would consider the A team for team members, such as Braden and Charlie Schleve and Mikey Vandenhoevel. And I believe Travis Pointer in some fashion at some point.
Yep. Travis is helping as a race coach, and yeah.
So the question the pits really want to know is, who's the best spotter?
Charlie's my spotter. Mikey spotted for me too, and I don't think I can pick one or the other. And I would be happy with either one of them as my spotter, but Charlie at the last part of really through the midway of last year and to the end, spotted for me. Mikey spotted for me before that. They both do an amazing job. So I don't think I can pick a favorite. Either one of those guys are just incredible spotters.
I suppose you don't want to stir the pot in the pits there.
No, but it's honestly the truth. I mean, really, I can go out and have success with either one of those guys in my ear.
Certainly. So coming up through the UTV class with today's current classes for kids, what do you think the best route is for their progression for classes?
How I got started just through side-by-sides, I think is the best way to do it. It's going to be the most economical because you can go out, buy a car, you have access to parts. You're not dealing with all these custom-made parts by different suppliers, like if you're in the trophy cart. It's just a great way to get into it. I'm not even that familiar with the kids side-by-side classes. Are they still racing 170s or 200s?
So the 170 and 200 mix is still in there, but I think it's phasing out really quickly. And I don't know if trophy cart is on that same line, depending on how things go in the next couple of years. But certainly mod cart is a strong favorite for an older class.
Yeah, I need to start doing some research because I got a son that's going to want to race here in the next couple of years, and I guess start looking for race cars for him. But I think the side-by-side route's a great way to go. You don't have to travel. There's local race series all over the country, so you can get a lot of seat time. Parts are available, and it's good racing background to get started. That's how I did it. It's worked out well for me.
So after the kids class 170, 200, would you still think like Pro Spec, Pro Light, Pro 2, Pro 4, or would you maybe skip one or interchange?
To be honest, I would probably go start off in a Razor, and I don't know what age groups the classes are, but I would probably want to get him in like a trophy cart for a little bit, just so he gets the feel of that two-wheel drive race car, and then eventually move him up into Pro Spec. But if we're going the short course route, I think it's important to get a little time in a two-wheel drive. If the end goal is short course racing, then at some point you got to get some experience with the trophy cart, I think, for sure.
That makes sense to me. It kind of flipping gears a little bit to the technology side of trucks, and as the years are progressing, we're seeing a lot more technology being thrown into these trucks. What are your thoughts about the evolution of technology in the trucks?
I'm in a 2014 Pro 4. To be honest, I don't think the classes have really advanced that much. The rule book has been the same for so long. We're not really doing anything crazy technology in this Pro 4 we have. Obviously, we haven't raced yet, so I don't know where I'm going to be. But it seems like the development of these trucks, to be honest, has kind of stalled. Once the manufacturers got out of the game, I don't even know, back in, probably back in 2009, 2010 is when it was really hot and people were really developing the trucks. But without manufacturer support of a lot of teams, we just don't have the budget to invest in developing new technologies. And, the rule book has stayed pretty stagnant for a lot of years. That's just the reality of it. But on the flip side of that allows me to go buy a cheaper truck from 2014 and be competitive, So I don't know if it's a bad thing, but I know like some of these guys obviously have like some paddle shifter stuff that maybe is the biggest advancement that I've seen in a long time. If it's an advancement, I'm still running with just a regular stick shifter. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe the paddle shift is a big advantage. But that's really the only thing that I've seen in the industry that's, cool and in a big development recently.
Yeah, it seems like just yesterday Mikey Van den Heuvel was winning races with manual gauges, and now to look in a truck, it's pretty hard to not find a digital cluster.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, you can go out there and win races with analog gauges. I mean, it really, all that stuff's nice to have, the Motec stuff. It's nice from a data perspective, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make your truck go any faster. It might help you analyze the data to help your truck go faster, but I don't know. If you're somebody out there looking at an older truck, I wouldn't be scared one bit. A lot of this stuff has stayed the same for a long time. And to be honest, it just comes down to good tuning and making that truck that you have work the best for you. And if you know what you're doing, you can get there with just about any truck.
Yeah, I've done a bunch of data analyzing, and it just seems like the data is a good resource to make sure your engine's not going to blow up.
It for sure is.
Because if your tires are slipping, there's not a way to really compensate that, because you got to look at what were you doing at the time and everything else. Yep. So it's really just a good resource to make sure you're not hurting your engine.
And it's good to have for, setting up gearing. We can look at tire, wheel speed versus RPM and, try to dial in our, I mean, it's definitely helpful. Don't get me wrong, but it's not, it's not actually making your truck go faster. So to speak. So I think the right driver could go out there with an old truck and still get the job done.
Certainly. So we keep on switching back and forth between racing and personal. So here's another lifestyle or life question. What's worse, a tire blowout or a diaper blowout?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with the tire blowout. They're huge bummers. At least the diaper blowouts, it's a quick cleanup. Hand them over to the wife, and there you go. Tire blowout, yeah, that one stings.
Yeah, right when they're eating more real food and learning to walk, so they're falling on their butt from the standing position. That's the worst time period.
For sure. Yep.
So now we move on to the restart section, which is just a quick, more fast-paced word association game. So I'll say a word, and first thing that pops in your mind, you fire it off. All right.
All right. Yep.
Turn 1.
Chaos.
Mud race.
Shit.
Ricky G.
I don't even stay away. I don't know.
Flat tire.
Coming in for pit.
All right. Inside, outside.
Inside out. ERX. First thing comes to my mind.
Cold drink.
What was it?
Cold drink.
Cold beer.
Perfect. And then the last one, Ryan beat.
I don't know. I don't know. Man, I got a few that come to mind, but I probably shouldn't say it.
So
fair enough.
Have you put him back on the Christmas card mailing list yet?
Yeah, it's all good. No, he's cool. We're all good. It's all just racing, Yeah. Tempers were flaring there for a little bit, but it's all good.
Awesome. So now we move into the checkered flag. So this is the last round of questions before we go into the podium.
All right.
So Keegan is the only 2-time champ for Pro 2 post motor rule, so that'd be 2017. Do you have any reserves of wanting to match that and beat that for before you move into Pro 4 or come back to it?
To be honest, no. I mean, I feel like I kind of came and did what I set out to do in Pro 2, and I'm happy with my career in Pro 2, and yeah, I think I'm just ready to move up to Pro 4 and have a good couple years in Pro 4 and try to get a bunch of race wins and match that Pro 2 championship with a Pro 4 championship.
Awesome. So on the Keegan subject, word is that he's trying to do a full season and he's aiming for a championship in his sights. So
Nice.
Rosales is kind of part of your team in a sort.
Yep. Yeah.
Is he?
Rosales.
Yeah. Is he?
He ended up buying my truck, and he was out testing in Wheatland with us. Looks really good, and I think he's going to be a factor this year. So he's got obviously a really good truck behind him. We did put a lot of time and effort into getting that Pro 2 that he has just absolutely dialed. I've got that truck in a really, really good spot right now, so he's got good equipment under him, and he might be able to go out there and surprise some people for sure.
What would you say your best advice is for him?
Just keep a cool head. Things are going to happen out there, and just stay confident, stay calm, make good decisions. You don't have to go out there and light the world on fire the first race. It's a process. My whole career, just keep getting better every race. And if you do that, trust the process, the results will come.
I think that kind of piggybacks then with what I would say. What would you consider to be a successful first season in the Pro 4 then?
Couple race wins for me would be a big success. I think it'd be silly for me to think I'm going to go out there and just kill everybody and win a championship. I mean, these guys have been doing this for years. They're talented people. They know these trucks. They got a lot of good people on their side. It would be silly for me to think I'm going to go out there and start winning races right off the bat. I mean, obviously I do feel pretty good. Our test went really good. My times were quick comparatively to the last time Pro 4's raced there. So I'm feeling good, but I'm going to be prone to mistakes. I mean, I'm new. It's a new truck. I've got a lot to learn. So I think it'd definitely be jumping the gun to think I'm going to go out there and dominate, because I don't think that's going to be the case at all. But I think in a few years' time, we can be there for sure.
Awesome. Well, our first episode, we kind of went over the drivers and such, and I put you up there pretty highly. So hopefully.
Yeah, I don't want to disappoint you, but it's gonna be a battle, and I've got a lot to learn, and I'm gonna do the best I can. Obviously, we're gonna go out and try to win races from the get-go, but I'm up against a lot of experience, and so yeah, we'll see where we land. I'm definitely excited to see where we stack up from the first race, and wherever it is, we'll keep our head down and we'll keep improving and getting better, and I'm sure in time we'll be the best. So otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this.
Awesome. So then we move on to our podium section, which we try to focus a little bit more on sponsorship and stuff like that. So as we look back on the past years, you've had a pretty consistent sponsorship portfolio. And Are there any new announcements, or what are the current setups for the 2025 season?
Yeah, so Mystic Lubricants, they've been with me for many, many years. They're still on board. Just been a great partner of mine. Great group of people that support me. They love short course racing. They've been a huge part of my program. Maxxis Tires, another one that's been with me for many years. Just awesome tire. I mean, I really think that's been a huge advantage of mine, is having that Maxxis Razor tire under me. Just a great all-around tire. And then this year, we're adding Bilstein to the list. So we've been running their shocks for a few years, but this year they're giving me full support. And we've already been in contact with them. They sent a guy out to help me tune, Nathan, just super good guy, helped us make a lot of big changes on the Pro 4, and they all went the right direction. So we're feeling pretty good, and yeah, it's gonna be a good year.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I know you had said kind of like winning the Pro 2 championship was like a memorable moment, but with not that included in this, like what's that one single memorable moment in your racing career? Like biggest win or?
The first time that I won at Crandon, it was my rookie year in Pro 2. That's one that pops to mind. That was a big one. I'd had a lot of bad luck in Pro Light at Crandon, and there was a lot of fast drivers back then when I jumped into Pro 2 my rookie year, and getting that win at Crandon in front of everybody, that felt absolutely amazing. And then after that win, it led to many more wins there, and it's been one of my most successful tracks ever since. So that was a pretty cool time.
Yeah, it's crazy just the amount of people that come out for Crandon, especially fall Crandon. Like when you're looking out into the crowd, it's amazing how many people are there.
Oh yeah, I love it. That's what keeps us coming back to this sport. I mean, that's such a trademark thing for us, being able to go to Crandon, race in front of everybody. Everybody's there. It's where you want to go out and do your best. So yeah, super cool.
Awesome. Well, we covered a lot of subjects here and got a lot of great information. We certainly appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to the season, seeing how it goes, and hopefully circling back and checking in and reporting a bunch of wins. Did you have any other questions, David? Or
no questions. Just appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us and talking about racing, and echo the same thing. Excited to see you in the Pro 4 and see what you put together this season.
Yeah, hopefully we can make the Pro 4 class a little more exciting. We're going to give it all we got, and it's kind of a shame we don't have more trucks in that class, but I'm doing my part to bring it back. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and thanks for having me. It's good to see you guys starting up a podcast, add another one to the list. So thanks for doing this.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Have a good one.
All right. Take care.